Samson,
What?
stop it.
I can't do
Right, how is it? You can't hear you guys. Can you, one of you speak?
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. We hear you. That's good. Right, hello, everybody. Hello, Bex. You alright? She asleep already?
Yeah.
Let's go out like a light.
It's taking it out of her.
No, bless her. Right, welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. It's been weeks. I can't remember, I don't know how to play D&D anymore. We're just going to roll some dice and hopefully Sean's character won't die, but who knows. Dice with death, baby.
Mean.
Right, let's go through all the normal stuff. We're on social media, which is some of you media social stuff on. So go to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, put in Heavyweight Gaming or follow the links that appear in the chat and you'll be able to see what we're getting up to. Why is it not working? Why isn't it working? Ah, there we go. It's been that long that even chat has forgotten how to make our things work. So go check us out on social media, Heavyweight Gaming, and you'll see everything we're doing and writing and blah, 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 blah. It's super cool. Go check us out. We're on Discord. We got a Discord thing. Come and join us in Discord. We got loads and loads. We just talk bollocks in Discord. If you want to come and talk nerdy, geeky stuff with us, come and join in there. We talk about LARP and D&D and Pathfinder and tabletop and one-shots and all sorts of stuff. Just go in there, have a laugh. It's good. And we tell each other about who's streaming, when they're streaming and what they're streaming. It's lovely. YouTube. Go to YouTube. There's like 4,600,942 and 3.446 episodes of story time of the last 68 sessions because we are on, that's right kids, session 69. I did think about getting a special emoji, but I thought Chibi's representing the 69 might get me banned.
Yep.
So session 69, 2 years, I think Mel informed us of the other day. It's been going as this campaign. 2 years! But yes, so well played, folks. For Ruby and Sapphire less. By maybe a month. But
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
Is it?
Yeah.
How long was it before they joined?
I joined around the November, I think.
So what are we on?
I joined now.
Oh, so maybe 4 or 5 months. Okay, I'll let you off.
Yeah.
Uli 69. 69, dude. I mean, Uli, you a grown-ass man. Right. Sort your life out, lad.
Also, I think we're up to about episode 30 of podcasts because the lovely Rich has been converting stuff into podcasts.
If you go to Spotify and search for Heavyweight RPG, I think he's put it down as Fables Among Titans, you will get to listen to the podcast of this lot, as Mel says, for the last 30 plus sessions. More and more will be jumping out when he gets a bit more time. He's a bit of a machine, like Jesus. But yeah, thank you very much to Rich for doing that.
He's been doing them on the Monday ones have been going up as well.
And the Mondays are going up as well. I'm Peter Pan. Okay, Uli. Okay. Next time I see you flying, mate, I'll, yeah. So, I've lost my train of thought, shockingly. Sponsors. Loki Battle Mats. They're amazing. They make maps, digitally, in giant books that you flip out on your table. Boom. You got a tundra, you got a tavern, you got a town, you got a castle, you got a magic circle, you got a forest, you got river, sewers, etc. Go check them out. They're super good at what they do. Every Kickstarter they do, boom, is immediately funded. So go check them out. They're amazing. Coyote Grey. Go to Roll20's marketplace. Type in Coyote Grey. You'll go to his little chibi tokens. And I think 10 years have been on Roll20. He tweeted the other day. He's put all his packs into one giant pack. And he's doing a big discount buy for them. So if you are using Roll20 a lot or know someone that is, or if you use other virtual tabletops, you can buy them, download them and use them where you see fit. But yeah, 10 years he's been on it, bless him. So go check out Coyote Grey. He's also responsible for the cover artwork in the bottom left-hand corner. And the little slideshow of chibis for their personal character tokens of this lovely bunch of coconuts. So yeah, so go check out Coyote Grey. Sirenscape, not a sponsor, but they are amazing. They provide epic music or epic sounds for epic games. Boom. Go check out Sirenscape if you sit around a table and you want, fire breathing going on, or tavern music, or mountain winds, or sea storms, stuff like that. Go check them out. They're absolutely amazing at giving you an ambience to play around with. If you play digitally like we do, you can download the web player app. Whoever's hosting the game can play the music. It goes through the web player app. Everyone gets the music. Boom. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Roughworks Creative. Go check them out on Facebook. They never post. However, their photos are amazing. Go check out their album on Facebook. If you are wanting stuff making, please message him. He will respond. And if not, I will make him respond. But yes, incredible crafter. Literally rips the tree apart with his bare hands. It's obviously a tree that he's going to use all of and not just knock it down, just so you know. But yes, Roughworks is absolutely amazing. The most recent thing he's made, and it's apt for session 69, is a horn cuff. So yes, he's made a little bit of a thing for your horn. Do with that as you so wish, Dwarf Warrior! And it's pronounced Hades, shitbag. So, if you... Ashana, maybe streaming tonight, hopefully, maybe, possibly, if she is, we'll read her. Ashana is a glass crafter from across the big water. She is an incredible crafter herself. She does a lot of Zen streams. She is brilliant at what she does. Little miniatures and figurines and stuff she does just made from glass is crazy. It blows my mind every time. So yeah, so go check her out. She's amazing. Is that it? Are we done? I should just get
Rerolls!
Just get a list. Rerolls! If you have just been paid and want to throw 200 bits at this lot, do you feel... I hope there's more emojis here. Do you feel sorry for the adventurers? Monkey face. Donate 200 bits last year to give the party a reroll. They can't be used on the DM or death saving throws. They don't roll over to the following week, but there is no longer a cap. Reroll emoji. Cheeky monkey emoji. So, if you want to throw moose...
Dwarf's got it now.
If you want to throw 200 bits at this lot, they do get a reroll. It's don't worry about it. It's always appreciated if you do, and these lot will use them on anything but useful rolls. So, which is, what they're designed
I think
for.
you'll find that's Monday.
They did do a lot of, history checks. Reroll. I've used 7 rerolls. Why is my robe red? Because you ordered it in red. So, if you are a little bit sadistic and you wish to throw 500 bits in the pot, I get a reroll. But yeah, so far, only Dwarf Warrior is horrible to the place. We got stuff you can buy. If you go to DM's Guild and you put in Tasha's Heavier Crockpot Bits of Bobs, or follow the link, there is a D&D5e supplement book, 81 pages of subclasses, spells, artwork.
Oh my god, the collector's spell.
Whatever Mel's trying to sell you there is like, don't trust it. But yeah, go check it out. It's unbelievable. There's 80 new spells in that 81 pages. Just a spell on each page and a picture. But yeah, go check it out. It's really cool. 200 copies sold. Brilliant. It's been out over a year and a half now, I think. It's really, it's amazing. I love it. There's also a new one out-ish called Kenzie's Tradesfolk Compendium. All the little background stuff and the toolkits and the little professions you get on your characters that no one ever uses. You just like to tell people, I used to be a chef and now I'm a barbarian that travels the world. You can get these things. There's little Easter eggs relevant to our favourite sponsors, friends of the stream, and more. It's really cool. It's just a small homage to folks that have small businesses, are nerdy just like we are. And we want you to be able to roll a D20, shout out their small business name and get a superpower from it. So yeah, so go check that out. It's amazing. Is that it, man? Is that it? Do I need to do that? Oh, 30 days. When is it? 32 days? The expo? 31, 33, 34.
Oh, don't tell me that.
18. Jesus, is it that close?
It's a month.
It's about a month.
It's a month.
Terrifying.
It's the 3rd today, and it's the 3rd. Well, the 3rd, Thursday's the 3rd. So the 4th. So at the beginning of June, so the end of this month into the next month, because that's how, the calendar works. We have got the Games Expo, Games UK. Oh, Jesus. We're somewhere in the UK.
Expo. It's right there in the chat for you.
Oh,
Ready?
yeah, there we go. UK Games Expo is from the 3rd and 5th of June. There you go. At the Birmingham NEC. And HWG will be there. Eddie and Eddie, that's me, and the skinny one. We'll be sharing a table with Bardic Inspiration, UK, that's Mel, and out to lunch. And be shouting about all things heavyweight RPG. So come and say hi, have a natter. Monkey face. Find out more and go to the ukgamesexpo.co.uk and you'll see, stuff that says Bardic Inspiration and Heavyweight Gaming. So yeah, be there or be not there. That is the question. Shakespeare.
We actually get to meet Eddie in person for the first time. We actually been playing online for 2 years.
15
Haven't actually met.
Met each other back in '85. Forgotten. But yeah, so please check us out at the UK Games Expo. In July, and a link will be appearing on streams.
Oh, you're going to get this one right?
No, because I'm not talking about the one that I normally get wrong. So
No?
no. So the one that Mel's just spoke was in
Damn.
August. Do you fancy playing with Heavy as a DM? That's me. I'll be running a 5th edition D&D one-shot at GSCon in Manchester on the 6th and 7th of August. I think I'm only running it on the 6th, the Saturday. But for more info, go check out that site. If you do want to go and you do want a ticket, make sure you use the code EMRIS10, who is the wonderful Zandri in the bottom right-hand corner. And you'll get 10% off your ticket. It's for a great cause. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a lot of passion being put into it. Emrys is one of the sponsors of the con, and there are loads and loads of creators, just like Emrys, that you'll get to go and meet and get her to sign your t-shirts and boobs. I don't know if that's how autographs work.
Oh my god, I need to come sign. I need you to sign on my thing.
You have to donate more for boob signage.
Donate more for boob signage. Why am I doing it for free? But yeah, signing my own boobs for £5. But yeah, so yeah, go check us out. What I was going to say, in July, we got a charity stream, 24 hours, 30th of July. No's been set up for it yet, except for the link to Just Giving, and we'll be start shouting about that. It'll be on our streams. The link will be on our streams. We'll be shouting about the page. It's going to be dungeon mastered by Eddie himself. It will be set in Colossus. It is set in Furia on the other side of Colossus that these lot have not experienced yet. And we will be travelling the mountainous regions of Furia as orcs and goblins, apparently. So Eddie tells me, and I get to play. So hey. Yeah. So and we'll be doing it round the table. So yeah, we are travelling to.
Jealous.
Where do they live? Bury, maybe. North of Manchester. And yeah, so we'll.
Janie, we're going invading.
Yep. Let's go invade. We'll go invade.
We're not far away from there.
So that will be our first of 2 charity streams this year. So yeah, so the first one will be D&D and based in Colossus. Second one, which more information will become available in winter, will be Mass Effect. But yes, we'll get around to that at another time. Right, so we're done?
Yep.
Right, cool. Let's play some spooky music. Ding da ding. We don't have a Luke tonight because Luke is managed to split himself into 7 different people and multitasking like an absolute lunatic, and we're trying to get him to stop.
Yep.
You have to bed, dude. Night, night, mate. Love you. Kisses. No, well, tried.
I'll be your kissy messy.
Thank
No
you.
messing.
Thank
Kiss and go.
you.
Thanks, Amy.
Night, night, mate.
I know t-shirt.
All right. As long as your nips are not on, we're all right.
Sapphire might need it.
Thank you, Uli. Can that music be
Sapphire's
heard?
been doing a concern since the last session.
For a long time.
I was going to say, Sapphire's been doing a concern since Sapphire turned up.
That's true.
Yes, Dwarf Warrior, you are correct.
That is true.
Can you hear the music?
I
If I
hear
turn it up
nothing.
very loud.
Oh, it's a bit.
God, yeah.
There
Oh
we go.
yeah, there we go.
Turns out I had the master.
Yes, I understand. A heavenly choir of angels.
Oh no.
Right, so a couple of weeks ago, the party, also known as the Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. It's not quite box back in it, but you know what I mean.
It just makes me coconut.
Hang on, Mel. It's not that sort of stream, you know what I mean?
I don't know, you were talking about
Coconut.
signing
Hey, up,
books. In my
Bardic's got a
experience,
coconut
you give Mel 2 glasses of wine.
Not even
It's
that.
called Ribena. It's called Ribena, Jenny. Right, so a few weeks ago, you lot were in the Highlands of Toa, visiting Ruby's family, having a somewhat change of pace from the demons and horrific blood magics and civil wars and dragon souls and who knows what else you lot have got up to. But it was a
Give me a
nice
whole
chill.
recap. What more do you want?
You had a Sunday roast. Got to meet the Irwins. Got to experience baby Irwin, who seems to be quite more advanced than most of her children. But it was lovely. You all had some good food. You all had a bath. It was nice. It was chill. And then you all made a bit of a plan. I mean, that in itself was a campaign, but we won't go there. That was definitely a one-shot looking over that map. Ruby then cast the magics of tree striding to return to the Copper Grove, the Toodles' garden, essentially, where the intertwining ash and oak trees are the centre of the new copper forest that is being grown and interwoven with the material realm forests of Ravenholm. Whilst travelling through the trees, as one does, in that magical realm, Sapphire was plucked from it. The rest of you arrived at Toodles' place. We'll get to you in a sec. Sapphire got some shit to do.
Oh, Sapphire.
Sapphire found themselves in what appeared to be a very old castle hall. Dark grey stone built around the walls, the ceiling high, empty wooden chandelier from the ceiling. Very just grey, miserable stonework. You could hear footsteps all about him, just slow walking, but couldn't see anything. Then a creature revealed themselves to Sapphire of a wonderful how do you do. A bit of a conversation got sparked up, and has offered Sapphire a boon if Sapphire chooses to drink with one of the true, or the one that is claiming to be the leader of the true. It's their leader, but they're definitely not happy that their little sister managed to give Sapphire a drink and apparently has control over Sapphire. Now, Sapphire, as you are pondering, the ambient sound around you goes from footsteps to what you can hear. You can hear now and then a choir of sorts singing from somewhere far away in this possible castle. You can hear moaning and groaning from somebody maybe in cells beneath, but it is a different feeling. And they merely stand there holding out a goblet, looking to you. Can you remember what they asked you the last thing?
I believe it was essentially, if you drink, you can receive a boon, and I would be unbound from her sister.
Yes.
But assumedly bound to her, obviously.
I mean...
So if I will look up at her and say, do I have to choose the boon right this second?
You do not.
He looks around at the darkness as he was sure I think there was some kind of hint that the other sisters were in the darkness somewhere.
There was definitely a hint that there was somebody beyond the in the shadows that you couldn't see, and every now and then she would speak to someone in the shadows. You also were compelled to sit on the floor by whatever force was in the shadows. And you also managed to notice that there were no doors in this place.
So, I drink this. I'm no longer under her influence, but I become under your influence. And I get a boon at some time of my choosing in the future.
Correct.
He'll take it and drink from it.
The goblet is passed to you. It doesn't go from hand to hand. It kind of leaves her hand and almost like mage hand across to yourself. You take the goblet. The silver of the goblet is freezing cold. Like you can imagine when you're a kid and you lick the frost and your tongue sticks. This is how cold it is on this goblet. And within the goblet is a clear, crystal clear liquid.
He'll give it a quick sniff.
Give me a survival check.
Well, that's a good sign. It's 3. That's 12, so 15.
It has when you breathe it in, it almost clears your airways. It's got a menthol sort of aroma to it.
He looks up at her and goes, well, the last one smelled nice until I drank a drink too. And he will take a big drink of it.
Hey! Choke! Just put the goblet on your head.
Choir
Smashes
start
it.
chanting.
Smashes it to the floor. Another.
That's my only one. It is incredibly refreshing. You it feels like when you do first thing on the morning when you've had a long rest. You are completely revitalized. You kind of like, without like reflexively, you kind of puff up like your chest, your shoulders. You feel energetic, ready. You know, it's very much. It's got a bit of a kick to it, and you are kind of alert. But it is a very smooth menthol / minty, almost liqueur. I thank you, Sapphire. And please, think on your boon. We don't want to rush these things.
What do I call you?
The true.
Okay. And when I'm ready to decide on my boon, how do I let you know?
Request it of the true. Simple. You've heard stories of genies. Just call out for the true.
Okay. That's easier than some ways I've heard to manifest things. Good, okay.
You could sacrifice a chicken, put all the blood all over yourself if you so wish.
I'd rather not. It would manifest something awful.
This is true. Just looks across to the shadows. He's got a point.
Yeah, catching the goddess of death off guard. Then he will offer her a bow. Of his own free will, just bow to us.
And she gives you a little nod. No. Bye-bye. And mist and smoke start to swirl around you. You free. Stepping out. Let's get rid of the spooky music for Toodles is oh my god!
Us 3 plus Cass's remaining shred of patience.
We'll get there.
Which is on life support.
Alright, Jesus. Give it a rest.
Yeah, that background came in. Whoa, okay.
Somebody slap that guy. You appear in Toodles' grove. Birds are a-tweeting. Bear in mind it's winter. Like, winter is fully set into Ravenholm. The frost, the fresh air. It's too cold to snow. But it is definitely biting, and you feel it as soon as you step from the oak and ash tree. Stepping out, you see what you are used to seeing. Those that are tending the smaller shrubbery around the place, almost gardener-esque. Fae, humans, varying ages, and a variety of fae flavours, all tending the flora of this grove and fauna when it pops its little faces out of the bushes. Toodles is currently in a small yard just out the front of their cabin, and there is a huge pile of wool that has been knitted into a very, very, very long copper-esque orange and brown scarf. Just sat in a wheelbarrow, almost like Mr. Whippy style of scarf, just sat in this wheelbarrow. It's not moving anywhere. Toodles doesn't seem to be knitting anything else. They are in their long, brass-coloured, less shiny and more of the woodlands sort of robe this time, like a traveller or somebody, what do you call, like a pathfinder would wear. You see a couple of the copper guard rocking around, and apparently a swarm of bees. Jesus.
Right,
Moses is here. Oh, let's get rid of the insects because they're a little bit ridiculous, just flying overhead like an airstrike. Right. Yeah. So looking around the place, it is beautiful. It is the Copper Grove. It is far more filled and brimming with tree life, with flora than it was before. The few days that you've been away, pushing a week now, is heftily. You can see that the magics that Ruby cast nearly a week ago is definitely flourishing around, and you see the mix of the dark greens and brown trees against the copper ones. What you three immediately notice is 2 members of your party missing. Sapphire and Kesvion are not with you.
Ruby swears. Is the portal still open?
No, the portal is literally a step and gone sort of spell. It's not a doorway that you open and can travel backwards and forwards. It's cast, go where you're going. That's the action of the spell.
Ruby refrains from kicking the tree at the very last second.
Okay, I'm used to Sapphire disappearing randomly. Not used to... No, actually, I lie. Yes, Kesvion has randomly disappeared before. Now I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah.
What are the chances that they're still in tour?
Slim. We saw them come through, but that's you can't. It closes behind you.
So somewhere along the line of traveling between Tor and here,
In the ether somewhere.
they have been snatched, which means they could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Was I
I would
Katie,
like to think.
just to check. I'm pretty sure I was the last one in the portal.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a bit weird because they were ahead of me, and they've definitely been taken somewhere else.
I didn't feel any change in the magic. If someone had tried to change the spell, if they'd messed with the spell, I'd have known. I'll say it was great magic greater than mine. That doesn't narrow it down, but to just two whole creatures, whatever that is.
Okay. Let's think about this logically. If they have been taken whilst we are traveling, they could either be somewhere else in the world right now, or they could be somewhere completely different, a different plane. We can try and look for them and see if we can see them here, somewhere on Colossus. And if they don't register on Colossus, then we have further worry. Let's talk to Toodles. Maybe Toodles can help.
Gotta love Toodles.
Yeah.
She's got more magic than me. It's the best shot.
Is
Andrea
there a
will start.
possibility they could have just come out of a different tree?
Nope, not how it works.
Okay.
I have to think very clearly about which tree we're coming out of. That's why it has to be one I know.
As Andrea walks towards Toodles.
Following.
Okay.
Ruby will follow, but as she goes, she's giving that now familiar because we've been harassing Toodles so much. The once over of the trees around her, and she's not checking in on the gardeners because they know what they're doing, but she's likely checking in on the gardeners to make sure they're handling her trees right.
You just kind of see Ari just pointing around, and he's trying to cast message, being like, Caspian, Sapphire.
Message don't go across, does it? Message is local.
Nope.
Yeah. Cool.
120 feet.
Right, yeah. There's a good chance.
He's a dumb. It's okay.
So as you approach the yard, Zandria, Toodles, your 7-foot satyr archfey of autumn, waves. Hi. Hello, Zandria.
Ruby waves back
Hello, Ruby.
like a proper.
Are you well?
We are 2 down.
My commiseration.
Oi.
We don't think they're dead. They just seem to have gotten lost whilst we were tree traveling.
Lost.
Sorry to I feel like we're asking an awful lot of you a lot recently, Jezreet, but is it possible that you would be able to help us try and locate Kesvion and Sapphire? We're just going to at first see if we can ping their location somewhere in Colossus. If they don't come up somewhere in Colossus, then we'll have to start thinking of where else they could have gone.
But by all means, you can use the cauldron if you so wish. You can get.
That would be
You'll
most
be able
useful.
to use it twice, I think, today.
Okay. Then we'll use the cauldron and we'll use it to try and locate Kespion, and then we'll try and use it to locate Sapphire.
Okay.
Right, you man.
Your man?
We were going to ask the favour of using the cauldron to locate someone else.
Well, hopefully,
Someone we need to
Sapphire and
find.
Kess are together, so maybe you can still do that.
Yes. Right now, Ruby, we need to find them first before.
I know.
So let's see if we can find them, and hopefully they're somewhere close.
Okay, so follow me. And Toodles walks into the hut. Immediately starts throwing the spices and such into the cauldron and starts getting it going. There is a low heat beneath this large cauldron, and the liquid starts to go a almost silver glassy colour. Who I can allow one of you to do the scry to make it easier, make it more potent. I mean, I know of Sapphire and Kespion, but if one of you has a stronger connection, I can use that. Maybe yourself, Zandria, for Kess. They just hold their hand out for you to take. Zandria cuts it off. Don't touch me. Autumn scum. Summer or nothing.
She takes Toodles' hand.
You feel that almost pulse of connection and the arcane energy, and it starts rushing around. The pot starts to bubble slightly. What you lot see is Zandria's eyes go from gold to just silver orbs. No pupils, no nothing, just silver orbs. And Toodles is reciting something in Druidic that doesn't make any sense even to Ruby, but it doesn't. It's not words, it's noises that are made to cast the spell, is what Ruby would recognise. Zandria, you begin to ye olde travel through the skies. Clouds are rushing past. You see the blue skies, you see below you mountains and forests and volcanoes and rivers and all sorts. And you keep going and going and going, and it starts to zoom in on rolling hills and small villages and hamlets. Very, very tiny little humanoids wearing tartan of strange colours, and you rush all the way back. You don't really recognise the place because you've only been there once and it was from a very different angle. But what you start to zoom in on... Oh, where have you gone, you bastard?
He's opened the document. No, not the document.
If it helps,
We've been doing this long enough to recognise when that's happening.
if it's not the document, it's the
A
other
document.
document.
That's even worse.
It's one I brought in just for this. So, you start to zoom in on a very, very thick wood, and it opens. 69. And it opens only for, and you can see now that within the wood at the centre of it there is a massive lock. There are rivers running towards it that, as you are coming towards this wooded area and this huge lock within its centre, you can see two humanoid shapes beneath the waters, very deep. Neither of them are moving, they're just kind of laying there as if they were floating on the water, on the surface, and just sunk a few feet beneath. And your scry doesn't go any further, but without recognising any of the features of these two humanoid shapes, you are confident that one of them is Kespion. And I believe it. Can you do stuff in the scry, or is it? It's not an immediate. There's a time limit to it. And then let's have a look.
10 minutes, if I recall, and if it's a place, then you get limited move around the place. But if it's on a person, then you follow that person.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so you got 10 minutes that you can concentrate and scry on. You know that one of them is Kess, but you're unsure of which one. But you don't feel like at this moment the scry doesn't go any closer, and you are several, maybe 100, if not more, feet in the air above this wooded of this thick woodland, these deep rivers that run towards it, and then the massive loch, or run away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Geography.
Yeah. So that's all I can see is wooded area, loch.
Massive loch in the middle,
Massive loch.
and lots of deep rivers running, and 2 humanoid shapes.
So yeah. So if you imagine loch and then like lots of rivers coming into the loch.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
yeah,
the wood surrounds the loch.
Yeah. Okay. And I can't move anywhere. I'm just kind of like stationary because we're locked onto Kess, aren't we?
At this moment in time, that's where the scries took you. So from now, you've got 10 minutes. So it's kind of pinpointed Kess, which tells you one thing: he's on this plane. But that this is now where you interact with the scry.
Okay. I can't go above the trees, can I? Or can I?
You're already above the trees, so your bird's eye view.
All I can see is just trees.
Is a forest beneath you. Behind you, it's all blurred out because you're obviously focusing on Kess. So you come into this scene of all these this circle of woods, these deep rivers, and a mass loch and 2 humanoid shapes. That's immediately what's happened to Zandria. And now, if you try to move towards Kess, move away, spin around, whatever, that's when you'll like I say, interact with the scry.
Okay, right, yeah. So I would like to go down so that I can get closer.
Okay, as you will yourself to get closer, you feel you're being pulled towards the humanoid shape on the right. And you go down and down, and you give me a perception check. So you're now cresting the treetops of this wood.
Like a dice out, so you know, what's that? What is my perception? Oh, fucking hell. 19 plus 6, so 25.
Cool. You hear a lot of soft, what's the word? Enticing voices in the woodlands. Give me a Arcana check with advantage because it's you.
Not 20.
Alright, so Jade's going to win tonight, by the way. So
Love it when I win. Woo!
wait till you get into combat. 1 skills warlock. So when you recognise the way the voices are acting and the way they're calling and the way they are singing amongst the woodlands and such, and they are sirens and other water fae that you may know of.
Okay. The surrounding trees, what colour are the leaves?
Green.
And what kind of trees are they?
Oaks, pines, ashes.
Oaks, pines, ashes, the leaves are green.
Very similar to the trees you saw when you visited Ruby's Place.
Yeah. Temperature?
Don't really feel it in the scry.
Don't really feel it. Okay. But I don't see any, like, frost, for example. It doesn't look like it's edging onto winter. It doesn't look like it's edging onto autumn. There's no, like, sense of a season.
Season, no. Time, it replicates the same as it did at Ruby's house.
Okay.
Again, you can't feel it, smell it, etc. But it looks, you know, there's a mist amongst the trees and stuff. It is wet rather than pour down. It is, it feels very now.
Like a morning dew kind of wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I get any closer than where I am, just so I can see if there's anything surrounding the loch other than the trees, like anything that would be noticeable, like any signposts or anything like that, you know, like
Give me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
As you try to push down to the waters.
Oh shit, hell.
You've had a 19 and a 20, so I'm expecting, you know, a 6.
No, it's 17 plus 6, so whatever that is.
23.
23.
Okay, so you push, something does resist your scry. Now, you don't really know how scrying works, but it does resist, and you kind of just urge yourself forwards. And as you get towards the coastline's not the right word. What's the bloody word? At the edge of the
Shoreline?
loch. Shoreline. There you go. The shoreline of the loch. You see a lot of kelp. A lot of kelp. but you don't see anything untoward. And it is left and right. Like, it stretches off beyond your scrying sight and into the blurred image that is around you. The only thing that is crystal clear is your tunnel vision to the humanoid beneath the waters. But where you are now on the shoreline, and the kelp at your feet and stretching out left and right, you feel very, like, walled.
Okay, I don't think there is much more I can get from this. So I'm gonna pull out.
Okay. Eyes go back to gold, and you are in the hut with Ari, Ruby, and Toodles. How did it go?
Well, good news. He is still in Colossus.
Both of them, or?
No, I could just... Well, I'm assuming it was Kesvion. I couldn't see because it was underwater, but...
That does sound like Kes, to be fair.
It does sound a lot like Kes. Bad news is I don't know exactly where it is because he wasn't in anywhere... wasn't in any landmark that I could just describe and, like, for example, you'd know where it is. Like, example, if I says, oh, there's a, you know, a tower and it looks like blah blah blah, then Ari might know what it is if it was somewhere here. All I could get was he is in a lock which has rivers running through it, surrounded by a forest of oak trees and similar sort of that type of tree. The leaves are green, so I don't think he's here. I don't think he's in Ravenholm. I don't think he's obviously back home. Chances are, I don't know, maybe he's still in Toa. Ruby, is there anywhere in Toa that sounds...
Does Ruby recognise, or does the
a
lock with all
check.
the rivers... Sorry?
History
check.
Aye. That well-known druid skill.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the first D20 that comes to hand, so that will be... I think that's an int roll, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a flat 17. Lost use of my mouse. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, flat 17.
Cool. So, pouring around the cabin, taking in the spicy aroma, you start to think, lock, there's a woods around, there's rivers running into it and stuff like this, and it's the fact that you know, and you're just kind of reactively piecing things together, Kesvion, it sounds like Kesvion being underwater, haha, but you're kind of piecing all these things together in your mind, the comments that are made, the description, again, it might be basic, but if you live and breathe a particular land, everything looks different because you know it so well, but to outsiders it just looks the same. But you start to pull those details from the generic and start piecing them together, and it's not even complicated. You're kind of and you're trying to work out the year, and it's the grove of the first Kelpie. It's in the Towan Highlands. It's got a very thick wood, really deep rivers, massive lock in its centre.
So
it's the only thing that you can think of that would have Kess in it. Loving the water.
So as Sandria describes it, and as that comes in, Ruby sort of blinks at her and goes, "The Kelpie Grove."
There was kelp there, so does that... I've never really encountered a Kelpie, so I don't know. I know nothing about Kelpies.
It's not somewhere I've been. It's it's not even like in Ravenholm where they go, oh no, you mustn't go into those woods because, but you kind of don't unless you can swim really well and unless you really mean no harm. it's their place, and it's always everyone knows it's their place, and we don't.
They're the water fae, aren't they? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll know the
you-
word Kelpie, definitely,
Yeah.
Harry.
Do you happen to know if that grove happens to also produce siren singing?
Stories would tell you that there are specific water fae that sing to draw 'em in.
Some people call them the Singing Woods. It's a place we know to be of the fair folk. Usually we leave them to their own devices, and they leaves us to theirs. But it is a place in Toa. I've never heard ill of it, unless you go in meaning harm to the fair folk, and then, well, she just sort of like gestures at the whole of Xandria as if, yeah.
Okay. Well, that is potentially where Kestion is. I don't know how on earth he has gotten there.
I-
But
Even
He keeps seeing doors.
Give me another
He
history check,
keeps seeing
Ruby.
these weird doors.
another history
Sorry, it's
check.
to Ruby, it's to Ruby. You carry on, Harry.
he keeps seeing doors. Why is this the first I'm hearing of this?
Because he doesn't want to tell you.
Of course he didn't want to tell me.
Of course he didn't want to tell you, but... You know, like, I saw a door and then it led me to Tails.
Mm-hmm.
And then he saw a door and ignored it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told him to talk to your mum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get a funny feeling it's probably linked.
Tsunami King. Weird water. Yeah, I guess.
Don't get a lot of tsunamis in locks, though.
Not really.
Sorry.
Water fae, sirens, it's all kind of
He has always been weirdly drawn to water. If he ever disappeared when we were kids, just to go to the nearest body of water, and he would most likely just be lying on his back, floating.
I mean,
Didn't you mention
Ruby
a
gives
rock
Xandria
thing as
a
well?
quizzical look, because Ruby couldn't identify a Kelpie on sight, but Kess's particular brand of magical aura, she's like, well, Kess is made of water, isn't he? He's not made of the summer like you are. He's a foundling. He came from the water, right?
I did find him in the water, but that doesn't necessarily or generally mean.
When we were going up the tower where Stefan was, there was the statues were all water and water fae on the way up.
What did you get on your history check, Ruby?
Yeah, 15.
15. It's more fireside stories, but if it is the Grove of the Kelpie, which, that's what your current train of thought is, the stories tell you of that's where, an ancient demon and an archfey came together, and, through magical deals and trickery of one another, the first Kelpie was created. And then every 4 years or 10 years or 5 years or whatever it is, all the Kelpie across all the world come together, and all beneath the lock just pay tribute to that demonic entity, that archfey corrupted, all these many stories around that train of thought. But they're just campfire stories. Nothing's ever been detailed or shown, like, there's the evidence. These are very campfire story-esque moments.
I mean, there's a lot of nonsense told about the place. Like, it's where the first Kelpie came from, and this magic happened to create it, or that deal was made with some kind of, I don't know, arch whoever to create it. It's I've never heard anything that I would seriously go, oh yeah, well that sounds reasonable. But they do say that, where like once every, I don't know, however, when, I don't know, the moon or the stars or whatever, that every Kelpie will go there. I don't know whether they get compelled or whether they choose to, or whether that's even a thing that happens, or if that's just another piece of nonsense to entertain
You say that,
during story time.
You know, we had human story time in Ravenholm, and look what turned out to actually be true.
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I think a lot of it was probably exaggerated because it was halflings telling the story, and it's the point of telling stories is to go big or go home, and the person who tells the best stories is the, I don't want to say the winner, but yeah, the winner. It's our entertainment, it's our tradition, is the storytelling, so a lot of it is going to be wild nonsense. But the more, anything sensible was what I said first. That sometimes people call it the singing woods, that most people don't go in there, that it said you should never go in there if you mean harm to the fair ones. Nothing concrete, but if you told me Kess was a Kelpie, I wouldn't be surprised.
Never really questioned it, to be honest. We've not really had much of a reason to question it. Caspian is my brother.
Oh, absolutely. The only reason we, acknowledge that I was of a different provenance from the rest of my family is that I'm 2 feet taller than the rest of them.
Yeah, yours is a little bit more noticeable than, But point standing, we kind of have a vague idea of where Caspian is. I'm probably gonna have to say we're gonna have to go and get him, because I don't know how he's going to get back to us. He can't tree warp like you can. So we may have to go and...
We know where he is, and we know if he is in that place. Like I say, I've never heard ill or danger of those woods. It's some woods where the Waterfey live, and there's a big lock, so if anything, he's probably happier than he would be here.
I mean, I'm all for Kess having a happy time and enjoying himself.
I know we need him back, but what I'm saying is if we look for Sapphire, and if he is somewhere less amenable to his sensibilities, then
yes, of course,
Kess will be alright for 10
yes.
minutes.
Yes. Speaking of Sapphire, maybe we should look for Sapphire now.
Which of us should look? Who's known him the longest?
Well, it'd either be me or Ari, I suppose. I feel like Ari might have a better relation.
The door opens to the cabin, and you see one of the copper lances, one of these. There's a red cap, bloodied hood just sat on their head, just dripping onto the tabard that is of a copper colour with a lance on it. Jezerit, one of the trees is dying. And she looks shocked.
Ruby's head just like
comes,
whips round.
We're trying everything. It's nothing that our magics can... maybe we need help, Jezerit. Of course.
Ruby's already out the door.
Ruby's gone. Pop a smoke.
Following the red cap with his little iron boots. You can see straight ahead, just on the edge of the grove, one of the thicker trunk trees is decaying at a rapid rate. Like, not magic's being cast like fireball, like naturally aging super quick to the point of decay. Like
Could it be blight?
Quite possibly. But it is decaying quite fast. Sapphire, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, no, I should theoretically be good at these.
Put him in these monks.
And what is my whiz? +3, 17.
Cool. As the dying tree is pointed out to you, it starts to crumble, and as if all the wood beyond the bark has rotted away and gone. It's just a shell of bark. A shell of bark. Sounds like a monster. And you see Sapphire just collapse out of the bark, like it just turns to ash and dust. It's so brittle, and Sapphire, as if being pushed through it, just collapses onto the floor in front of you, struggling to breathe, coughing. It's as if the first time you've taken oxygen, Sapphire, and you're just breathing it deeply, but so fast that you're kind of choking on air. But you do eventually not die.
Ruby gives this cry of distress and like lunges forward, and for a second is not sure whether she's not sure. Nobody looking at her is sure as if she's going to save the tree or she's going to grab Sapphire, because
Push Sapphire out the way.
he's clearly alive and the tree, but as the tree crumbles and it's clear that Sapphire's having trouble breathing, Ruby kind of holds him onto his side, because if he's flat on his front, she'd like just levers him onto his side.
Sapphire rolls to help.
I'm okay. Well, no, I'm alright. I'm alive.
Well, one less person we have to search for, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that.
One less? Who else is... Looks around quickly, realises Kess isn't there.
Shame about the tree.
It is a shame about the tree.
I'm really sorry. Is that the tree we came through?
No, it's not Okarian's tree.
Oh, good. Shit, good. I'm sorry about the tree. It wasn't really my fault, but also I guess kind of was my fault.
You see, Toodles is like leant over examining what is now. There's no roots, no nothing. It's just dust in a little patch. This tree wasn't here. One of the forest trees is this. I don't know what this is, but it's not. I don't think you need to apologise, Sapphire. It's not one of, I say, our trees, but it's not a. Or it wasn't.
A random tree has just sprouted up out of the ground so that Sapphire could tumble through it.
Toodles looks at you with a little smirk.
Well, weird if
Ruby kind of looks at you as if, did you not see me make the trees just like sprout out of?
No, I did not. I was in the cabin.
Where were you, Sapphire? Are you okay?
Sapphire kind of sits up and just kind of is sat there with his legs outstretched, looking like a big child. Inside, perhaps?
Oh no, that means it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Come on then.
Sapphire get to his feet a little bit gingerly and head towards the cabin.
Following suit.
Ruby's doing her little mother hen orbit around Sapphire, like a kind of hovering helicopter druid.
Okay. Into the cabin. You all find a place to sit in this warm, grandmother-esque cabin. There are woolen cushions and such put on stools and chairs made from logs and well, not certainly made from logs. Tea, anybody? Says Toodles.
Sapphire's kind of holding his throat a little bit. You know what? I'd love some.
Toodles will begin making a brew.
So, where were you?
So, you remember that I had this little issue with someone that turned out to be one of the aspects of death?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
If Ruby wore glasses, she'd be looking at you like this.
Her big sister plucked me out of the tree walking somehow, and I think I was in some kind of castle, but I couldn't see a lot. There was kind of like the immediate area I was in with and she identified herself as the True. There are three of them, which we knew already, and there was like a circle that we were in, and then it was like darkness and shadow, and I couldn't see into it. I think it was magical. I think the sister that had me drink before was in the shadows watching. Very unsettlingly, she made me sit on the floor, which was upsetting, but not massively surprising, I guess, since she tried to pull my spirit out of my body before. But I wasn't there at her bidding, I was there at the True's bidding. And
we magically travelled through the tree. You were ahead of me, as was Cass, and then somehow she's managed to pluck you out of that magical tree.
They said whoever did it would be far beyond us.
yeah, I don't imagine that's something regular mages can do.
It's very powerful magic, but you kind of need. I mean, I could probably divert someone if they were tree striding, if I had a lock of hair or their blood, or had shed something of mine with theirs to cause a binding or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was somewhat bound to her sister.
I mean, it's
Or
still
another of her aspects.
still very difficult to do, but yes, if that would give them the opportunity.
I was essentially given a choice by the True that I could continue remaining bound to her sister, or I could swap my binding to her and get a boon for my troubles.
What, you actually believe them?
I mean,
Agreements like that can be very binding. Which, by the way, stop saying the name. You'll summon them.
okay. That's probably true. Actually, she did say about when I wanted to contact her using her name. Okay, I won't use that anymore. I'll use Top Bitch for her instead. There we go. Top Bitch of the three.
As my next t-shirt.
Yeah, she essentially gave me the option of sticking with her sister or swapping to her and getting a boon. And okay, before everyone judges me,
Too late.
I was already bound to someone that could, with a word, make me sit down against my will. So I figured if I'm going to be bound to someone, why not try and get something positive out of it? Like, it sounds ridiculous, I know, but if I had said no, I had no guarantee of getting out of there, and I would still have been bound to an aspect of death anyway. Like, I feel like it's a lateral move, but with a little bit of potential positivity.
Well, here's the thing. You apparently have bound yourself to, as you put it, the top bitch. Therefore, more powerful. Therefore, more control on you. Therefore, harder for us to get you out of their control. At least with their sister, who I'm guessing is less powerful, we might have stood more of a chance.
Yeah, okay, yes, that is true. However, what Toodles just said, like, yeah, okay, I'm bound to her, but that means she's also somewhat bound to me. That means we could potentially use that in the future.
That is accurate, yes.
Yes, but I don't believe it's a 50-50 trade-off here. It's probably
Oh.
something like 2% you have control, 98% they have control.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. I 100% agree with you there.
So
But
Toodles passes you all a beverage, surprisingly of the one that you would have asked for if given the choice.
Marvellous.
she's so
Because
good.
she's our chum, she knows what she likes. She's a good egg.
Am I right in thinking none of you know who the True are?
No.
They
not-
don't really feature in the dry deck.
Like, from what I know, there's 3 aspects of death because it was broken apart by the Creator Titan. Is that right? Like,
Yes, so Strand is the creator titan of, and just gestures towards Sapphire, the patron to the Vey dynasty. They were Strand created the elves and the Goliaths and magic, as all the schools of magic we know were all part of Strand's influence on Colossus. Even necromancy, and in doing so, death was brought into the world, and the true are. It is difficult to explain, but they are beyond death. There is no. They are the sparks, the side effect of death entering Colossus. They are known to ancient scholars as the Witness, which is believed to be the. They are not a family. They are not siblings. They aren't. They are just entities, and there is no which one came first, second, or third, but the one that refers to itself as the little sister is the Witness. The top bitch, as you put it, Sapphire, is known as the Harvester, and if stories give any identity to the other one, it is what they call their brother, air quoting. They are known as Absolution. They do not fit in Colossus. There is no place for them, no cycle, no school of magic they favour towards. There is no life and death. There is a nothingness. How did you meet the true?
When we were in the realm of echoes, I touched a mirror, which then pulled me through into some, I'm assuming, some kind of demi-plane. It was just where they said they were put. They were banished or something, and into this place.
Yes.
I was essentially told that the only way out for me alive was to drink this drink, which was blood, which I didn't. It was charmed, so I didn't realise that, but it was too late. But either way, I ended up being let out of the mirror, but bound to, like you said, I guess the one who calls herself the little sister.
The Witness.
The
No.
Witness.
Ruby claps a hand over her mouth, having literally just remembered her own words of "don't use the name."
Sapphire looks confused why you just did that. Like, huh? What? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Names are very important.
Okay.
The mirrors, they are the Jinketsu mirrors. They were created by very, very old, or the very early of the dynasty. They wish to explore the realm of death, as curious minds always wish to prod and poke at things, especially in their youth. But they were thrown away, discarded, a thing that cannot be destroyed for their link to the realm of death. But the true themselves, and looks at Ruby, they cannot be summoned to where I do not wish them to be summoned, or at least I'm pretty confident. And you look at Tool, who's looking around the cabin, not as confident as maybe they were this morning. But
Bad habit to be in, nevertheless.
No, you're right. It's fair. One the big demon, the dark paladin demon, pale ones, looks at.
yes,
looks around at people.
this Calthias currently at war.
He was wearing a mirror around his neck, almost like a holy symbol. And I know that the little sister was trying to. Well, she managed to pull my astral self from my body to try and talk to me. Thankfully, I fought off her influence and got away. But I know he was wearing the mirror like it was a holy symbol for him, and she could act through it.
There are folk who follow many different faiths, whether they be celestial or and just gestures towards the trees outside. But if Galthias is Why? And Toodles looks a little bit confused. Why are they? Kind of looks into the brew. Why are they here? Why are they doing what they're doing now?
I don't know, but there's a dragon and some kind of old elven guy, I get some kind of old fey creature that are going to go and clobber him one from the sounds of it.
A dragon and an old. There are no dragons in Colossus.
Oh,
Well,
the dragon
that
was there was a dragon soul definitely bound into the wall of Ravenholm, and she's
Yes.
now in an artificial body, like a soul forged body.
did we not tell you about when Kess and Ari decided to start touching things?
I remember it was spoke of at the meeting.
You can see Sapphire like relax a little bit, almost like the spotlight's off him for a little bit. He's okay.
Catherine Sasha helped us.
I think it was the way you worded it, Safa. My apologies. When you said dragon, I envisaged a dragon.
Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. She's a dragon soul now, but yeah.
Soul of a dragon.
Who's this old fae guy?
Altarian.
Let's have Toodles roll the dice, shall we?
Toodle's making a history check.
Yeah, because Toodles isn't the original Jezerate.
Because he's that old.
Fuck you, Toodles.
Toodles get the memo.
Toodles has still got a denied email somewhere in the ether.
Oh no.
Oh, Toodles.
I don't know the name particular. There are many old fae.
I think
He seems to be
they
her
date
minder.
from- yeah, I think they date from King Reinhardt's time. Wears a gold blindfold. He's very tricksy, fey.
A gold blindfold. Were they of a particular place? And then gestures like at Xandra and themselves, like autumn, summer, a court,
I
a
remember
tribe.
rightly, they were dressed kind of like they, sort of like a pink corset. Trying to remember. Out the character, I don't
cool.
remember.
Altarian definitely gave you the call.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He almost seemed to. He was blindfolded the whole time. And they helped us when we were in the desert. Kess and I were given a boon by Nataf and Sasha and turned into dragons for a short time.
Boon from a dragon is a worthy gift.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I believe they've been around since King Reinhardt's time. Altarian and Nataf and Sasha both.
The dragons were far earlier than your king.
I was going to say, by the time the war came about, the dragon was powerful enough that they wanted to solve the wall. That's not a fledgling. That's not what you and Kess were.
No, but I was with. I was with them very shortly after that, and it did seem that she had put in effort to make that happen for sure. She was like, it wasn't just an after effect. She was directly making it happen.
They are powerful creatures. Or were.
Well, apparently still are. If she's walking around as a mechanoid thing now.
Soulforged are. Well, they are a wondrous creation from the south of these lands. Any soul, it seems, from, can be harnessed within their magical contraptions of wood and iron. It's also rare, as I believe you need a powerfully enchanted vessel to hold a more powerful soul. If it's the easiest math I can think of. the vessel itself must be extraordinary to hold the dragon soul.
It was pretty impressive to behold, and the magic that Arterion was doing to transfer her soul into it was pretty intense as well.
I do apologise for interrupting, but is this? Can we do anything from this? Does this help Kess?
I'm not certain it helps Kess in any way, shape, or form.
Does Kess need helping?
Where is Cass?
Caspian has taken a holiday to a lock in the Torn Highlands by the sounds of it. I don't know how. I don't know why.
From what Xandria described of the scry we did and the cauldron, it's somewhere I've heard of. Doesn't seem to be in any great danger, but you know,
But
we should probably go and see what he's up to.
Jessary.
Toodles is fine, Harry. Lord Rycroft.
God, that makes me want to vomit. Anyway,
If Toodles is correct, though, and that something much more powerful would take someone out of a tree travel spell, then something powerful must have taken Catherine.
It could have been.
Because he was ahead of me.
Could have been coincidence. It's not an order thing, Harry. When it's once you're in, you're here. There's less of a first in, last out, etc. But what may have happened, and looks at Sapphire, is the opportunity the True took to converse with Sapphire may have punctured a hole in the travel, as it were. I don't really know how to explain the metaphysics of it, but could just be coincidence that whilst one powerful entity was reaching out, it caused Kess to fall out, as it were.
Is Kess safe where he is?
he seemed, from what I could see, and bearing in mind that was very little because he was underwater, but he seemed content. He's in water. I needn't say much
Scrying
more.
isn't that you
It's
can't
more a
always-
glimpse than a conversation.
As we found out when I tried to scry on the temple for you, it's what you can see can be limited, but from what Xandria described of what she saw, if the woods that she described where I think it would be, I've heard no ill of them. Kess would be amongst like-minded individuals to a certain extent, and she saw no distress in the scry, so he's probably as much danger to them as they are to him. I mean, there are more of them, but you know that
If Kess wants to be dangerous,
if he's ended up in a lake full of fae, then
he'll be fine.
yeah.
For now, anyway, until we go and drag him back. Most likely kicking and screaming, because he never, ever, ever likes to leave the water.
So
So
is that our next plan then? To go after him?
Most likely.
I mean, I can't use the mark again today, but I can cast it.
We can wait till tomorrow for that. Since we didn't use the cauldron to look for Sapphire, we could always try and locate you-know-who. Whilst we're here and we have it.
What do we know? What do we know from Bar and what we learned at the meeting?
Ruby hesitates and says, I think Sandria should do that scry. I think blood pillars were connected to the Fae. When I grew the forest, I could see a lot. I didn't understand all of it. But it was like a red string. and I could feel it pull just a little from, I think. And it was in a Fey realm. Although it was your Fey realm, so maybe you would...
Who knows? Honestly.
I think possibly Harry is definitely more linked to Ravenholm and it's than Xandria, but you are correct, Xandria is more linked to the Fey side, although I do have my questions of Harry's lineage. And she smiles. But also, you know, I myself or any of the gardeners, and she laughs. There are a multitude of folk we could use that would enhance the link. But it's up to yourselves. Finish your drinks. Let us just enjoy a brew for 5 minutes and have a break, because I need the toilet. So, while you enjoy your brew, we're going to go have a bio break, etc. Make my own brew, exactly. Well done, Mel. Yeah, check out, there should be a GS Corn little advert running in the break. Lovely little coming this summer. Adventurers die in the woods. So, check it out, it's going to be amazing, and we shall be back in about 10 minutes-ish, 15. Right, break time. This might work. Hello? Yeah, there we go. It did work! Yes! Right, we're back. Just before the break, you did a scratch. You realised that after going through your tree shrine that Sapphire wasn't there. But it's alright, Sapphire was making a deal with the devil. He wishes it were the devil. She's making a deal with none other than death. He's now back with the party and living life as best he can. The Castrion was also missing, so they've done a scry on Castrion and they've discovered, likely, possibly, maybe, he is submerged in the lock of the grove of the first Kelpie, which, according to the stories Ruby's heard, is lovely and fluffy and not dangerous at all. You have another scry available to you with the magic cauldron of the Jesuits' cabin in the woods. You are currently situated in the cabin in the woods, having a brew. You have the copper / Raven forest mingling. What do you do, folks? What do you do?
Do you want to try and see where Corbin is?
Sorry, while we were sort of drinking, the peacock feather that Ruby was given, she has tied into one of her braids, and the gold ribbon that was put around the bag by her mum, she has tied around her wrist. And
He's eating the boys. Jam sandwiches for days.
most of
Well,
the
bag of
jam,
holding.
I think, the jam all ended up in the bag of holding.
One thing I've got in this bag of
We've just got one bag of holding.
Full of jam.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of there's a radio show called Cabin Fever, and in the last episode they get pulled over and the police officer goes, "What have you got in the back of your van?" And he goes, 600 strawberry lollies from the Princess of Lexington.
Yeah.
What have you got in that bag of holding, sir? 500 jam sandwiches and one healing potion.
So once you've dealt with the jam, what? So peacock feather in the hair, red ribbon around the wrist. Yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone else takes the ribbon off their bag and like goes to Ruby will keep it, and the second their arm is available to them, she'll be like, "You keep this." Tie it around their wrist.
Oh,
Not sure if it'll fit around Sapphire's wrist. That might have to be like a
he can
thumb
braid it
ring.
in his hair too. He likes
Braid
doing
the
that.
ribbon in the hair.
Tie it to a toe bean.
Oh, beans!
Toby.
I was going to say make like a thumb ring, kind of.
Yeah.
Sapphire will look over at Ari. I think that's a good idea. I think while we've got a scry available and we're in a place where we're safe. Are you volunteering?
Many spells? I can try, but well.
You can use the cauldron.
I can cast Scry, but we have the cauldron.
You have one more for today at least. I'm unsure. It's kind of. I think it knows what it's doing. Some days it's empty. Other days I can use it to scry. But I do know that you have at least one more today.
We were just down to who and which is the best criteria. Does hailing from the same place count for best? In which case it would be Ari. Does the connection to the blood magic? In which case it will be Xandria. Does sheer amount of bloody anger towards him count best? In which case it will be me. I'm not allowed to get any more. I'm sorry.
Do you? It is fine. It's fine. I was
No,
maybe.
Okarian said I'm not allowed to get angry anymore because it's too loud. I will settle for getting even instead.
What a hypocrite.
He says hello, by the way.
Tell him hello back. I can test if Ari is a more suitable candidate. But if not, he'll die.
Oh, then absolutely test. Please. Please, Jesuit, test.
I will require your permission, Ari.
Ari, get the test.
Take the test, Ari.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do anything that's going to kill anyone. It seems like any one of us has a reasonable shot, so...
I'm serious. If what I believe Ari to be, or at least to be running through his veins, he will be safe. If not, then you'll be down a eagle, and just pats Ari on the back with a smile.
I am awfully curious because it keeps cropping up. Even if it is just the barest of whispers, somebody just goes, "Oh, you're not all that you seem, are you?" whenever they talk to him. So I would quite like it if you could do a test.
It's a wonderful
'Cause-
impression of the local accent, Xandria.
God damn it. You're ruining my flow.
Sorry.
Damn it. Stop it. I would quite like it if he got tested, because then that would also make me feel at least a little bit better about my slight attraction. At least he wouldn't all be human. It wouldn't be as bad.
Oh,
There's
darling,
a-
you love me anyway.
Debatable.
Toodles looks at
I
Sapphire
trust
and
you,
Ruby like,
Toodles.
do I, is there something? Okay.
Just to hear Sapphire under his
No,
breath be
shit.
like, "Ship confirmed."
Toodles gets the look from Ruby that Drea gets when the others are being aggressively lads, like catching arrows and shit with rangers in the woods. It's just that half eye roll that you see the shit I have to put up with daily.
Whilst you're discussing, Coronation Street, Toodles brings over a small vial, and it's got a mercury-looking liquid inside. Here, Harry, drink this.
The bloody good thing I trust you, Toodles.
I'm sorry, I know it's Toodles, Harry, but you've got to ask.
I mean, I think we're over this Faye thing now, but
Never
is
be over
freely
this.
Given?
Yes.
Am I under an obligation?
No, definitely not. Your life is in your hands here.
Cool. Bottoms up.
Cool.
Put you down, sir.
As you take the shot, it solidifies in your throat, and you stop breathing. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Knew that was coming.
He's dead. You killed him.
Like Ruby's rolling her sleeves up, ready to like
It took 69 episodes. That's so ironic.
Choking Harry on 16. Anyway.
Ah!
I got
Got a
choked in
reroll.
a 69 and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Yep. Got a reroll, Harry, don't forget.
I might need to use it because that was like an 11.
I'm pretty
I
sure
I
mean-
don't trust that.
rolling to breathe is a good excuse to use a reroll.
Yeah.
Trust that. Okay, that's better. That's better. Oh, okay, that is a 15.
It does solidify in your throat, and then as you realise, oh shit, I can't breathe. There is a moment where you can, you see the face of your grandfather, and then just gone. Liquid's gone. You drink it. It's warm in the belly. It feels like you took a shot of a strong alcoholic beverage at Pick Any Tavern in Ravenholm, Harry. It does warm your belly. The vision of your grandfather dissipates, and Toodles is stood staring at you, smiling, her rosy red fur cheeks on her face.
Thanks, Mobonix.
Thank you, Merbonix, just in case it happens again. It will happen
Thank
again. Well, confirmed. Harry, you have a Fey ancestry.
Yeah.
You're one of us. And just gives you a little dig in the arm.
Well, I feel marginally better now.
I mean,
Although
I've been
it's-
told that by at least 3 or 4 different people now.
It's probably your looks, but it is definitely a couple of generations ago, maybe a grandparent or a great-grandparent may have. It's not always, physically introduced into a lineage. Maybe a gift or. But who knows? Maybe could you speak to a grandparent or older?
Thank
No.
you, Uli.
Not anymore.
Ah, my apologies. Maybe your father or mother would know, or.
Considering all the stories against Faye,
Harry, surely you have records of your family tree.
probably somewhere
In the
these
wall.
days.
Yeah.
Eh, it's just a small trip to the wall. What could possibly go wrong?
Besides, demons are
inside.
outside it now, not.
That's fine.
Well, it is definitely there. However, it was introduced to your lineage. It's definitely there. So
It's good to have that confirmed at least.
the interesting thing is it's not seasonal. So
Well, that is interesting.
That's good. It's probably good.
Sandra, that you up?
Hmm.
There is a very large spider on my wall. Give me a moment.
Oh no.
Oh! I was so calm if that would have been me. Ooh, I would have been out that door behind
Oh
me.
yeah, like if there were a large spider just like to the wall on my left, like I would just like all that you see would just like go straight off the side with a horrible scream.
Yep.
Like wires attached, be damned.
Massive it was. Massive. 6'5". You are.
6'5".
Did it have a Yorkshire accent?
Probably had a Yorkshire accent and probably
Definitely had a
had a cigarette in its
Yorkshire.
mouth.
Yeah.
A little roll up.
Now then, you bald bastard.
Oh dear me.
Spider's gone. And so is
We got
Sapphire.
2 more rerolls. Thank you, chat.
Yes, Sapphire also didn't care for the spider. Well, now that we are confirmed on your Fey ancestry, huzzah, congrats, welcome to the club. That makes you the perfect candidate for this scrying.
Indeed.
Have fun.
Of the land and connected. So, all you have to do is submerge your face in the cauldron.
You're right, Becky.
One of the,
You're right,
say,
Bex.
as one of the gardeners just outside the cabin
Just starts,
overhears
"Whee!"
the conversation.
Literally telling one at Red Cap.
Cauldron is
one
a
of them's
code
falling
word.
for it again.
Ariel just look at Toodles and raise an eyebrow.
Look, I grew up around Ocarian. You can't blame a Jesuit for trying. And they go over to the cauldron and start beginning the spell again. And you see the waters start to turn and have that silver mirror-like coloration to it, and the spiced aroma. And Toodles holds out their hand for you to take, to use you as the conduit. Right. You take Toodles' hand, and you are drawn into the pool, metaphorically. Your eyes go pure silver orbs, and as your physical presence remains in the cabin, you start travelling over Ravenholm, and you can see now veins of copper running through the Raven Forests just for miles and miles and miles. The life and magic of the druidic spell that was introduced to this regrowth, you can see clearly. And considering there are thousands of miles of Ravenholm, you can see it spreading far and wide. At your back, you feel heat, and the sweat and stale ale and odour of vigorous training and clashing of steel and hellfire and brimstone all mixing in your emotions and your sensories at your back as you race westward. West. As you race westward. You travel into the lands of the House of Tor, into the province of the House of Tor, and you can slowly go in towards Ebendorf, the city where you first met at least two of these coconuts. And you go past Ebendorf, off the coast, and out to sea. You're not sure if it's days, minutes, you just got out to sea westward from Ebendorf. Going down to a collection of ships, maybe 3 of them, maybe more on the periphery of your vision, but it's very tunnel vision now. And you go down to a very large galley ship, 3 masts, huge ship, big flag of the horned bull and such, the 2 horns on the red background, the House of Tor. This is very much a flagship of the province of the House of Tor. It goes through the decking to a cabin, and just in there you can see the luxuries that you'd expect on someone of very high wealth / nobility within Ravenholm. This ship is very, very expensive. And in this very, very posh cabin, you see the long, dark oiled hair brushed back and down, the crimson, sanguine coloured robes of Corbin Astaroth, the gentleman that you saw at the Sovereign Rabbit, who was, very, very happy with their work. They are in conversation with someone, but your scry is on Corbin and you cannot see who they are in conversation with. However, give me a perception check, and I will see if Corbin resists the scry.
19
So,
plus 8 is 27. No, 20. Yeah, 27.
Jesus. You hear the familiar, soft, deep voice of Berrimond, but you don't hear the words they're saying. You can just hear the tones. And with such a high roll, you are aware that it's Berrimond's sultry tones. Corbin, you hear him say, "There's only 5 of them." Then whatever Berrimond says in that, "Yes, but wherever they stand, so do I." And then looks straight at you. "Well, we have a visitor. Or should I say, had. Goodbye." Waves her hand and the scry cuts.
Yep.
Oh!
And you reawake, you snap back into...
Yeah, really suddenly as well. To be kicked out.
Wizards be good at resisting scries.
Just a little bit. I'm kind of rub his head. Oh, bloody hell.
Well, did you find them?
Yep. He's a dick.
Tell us something we don't know.
I mean, why specifically this time? Other than you didn't seem to be gone very long.
Yeah, he kicked me out.
Ah, yes,
He
there
saw
is.
me.
There is a possibility for those to resist scries.
He's out near Ebbendorf. He's on a ship. I think it's from the House of Tor. Berryman was there as well. He was talking with Berryman. And yeah, he said something about there's only 5 of them.
What city was Stefan sailing on?
The north. He was off the coast of.
He was up north.
He was off the coast of. I can't find it. He's north. He's in northern waters, not western.
Right, okay.
I'll dig it out.
Yeah, he's proper north, whereas like this is like west. This is like directly west from Norway.
Then he's been warned that there's a price on his head. Were they sailing away from Ravenholm?
Static in the water, Harry.
Yeah, they were anchored.
That's a better way of describing it, well played. They weren't moving on water.
They
How
were
far
off the
is it?
coast. It's the other side of Ravenholm, but
Well, my cabin is more or less in the middle. Is a bit of a strong description, but maybe a little bit inaccurate. But you're maybe, if you walked in a straight line from here to Ebbendorf, 500 miles. There's a very long way. That's just to the city. If you were to look at a compass, Ebbendorf is the western point of a compass. So
In our travels, Ari, have we been there or close to there?
not with you.
I was going to say we've been to Ebbendorf.
We've been to Ebbendorf. But I know there was some of the copper forest not too far away. That's how we first entered the copper forest.
And where is the nearest teleporting circle?
there'll be one in Ebbendorf.
And
probably
there's
one in the
again
city.
that kind of vibe that if Ruby was a snake, there would be a rattling that Danger Will Robinson kind of.
Yeah.
AD, do I
Just
get a
that
did I
vibe.
feel how far out they were from the shore?
No, I specifically said you're unsure if it's days or hours. You just know they're west of Ebbendorf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're out on the ship.
yeah. It's not. You know, you're scrying. It's not GPS.
I was gonna say, to be fair, I didn't write. If you told me, I would have written. it
Yeah,
down.
that's fine.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, he said there's only 5 of them, and wherever they stand, I see them look straight at me and said we're not looking anymore and kick me out. Just what I want.
Wherever they stand.
As long as they stand, I
as
stand.
long as-
He said.
Okay. As long as they stand, I stand.
Then there is the pillars, isn't it? And he's tied himself to the pillars, so
They are still present throughout Ravenholm. Yes.
so to kill him, we have to destroy the pillars. To destroy the pillars, we have to kill him. Which is why I come back.
None of my folk are able to go near these pillars, but Gideon has taken some of the lances to the humans of Ravenholm to maybe investigate a bit further. But the fair folk, or our folk, and looks at Xandria and then nods at Harry. We can't go near.
It's never simple.
Is
is it?
anyone with?
Wizards never are.
Has anyone with Oh, what was the word you used? Me, with the wings and the.
Celestial?
Is anyone celestial pride?
I haven't checked. None of the Autumn Fae are of a celestial nature. So, if you are not Fae, then you should be okay. But we have not. There's not been any experimentations or anything. Just Gideon is. Well, hopefully, we'll report back in a day or two. It's not easy for Gideon to travel around magically. The poor boy has to walk everywhere. But he never gets tired. Unlife, who knew?
If he's somewhere I've been, I can fetch him back if you need him back sooner. But
I'd not. I'd rather him finish what he set out to do, so we get more answers. But it is grateful, thank you, appreciated.
I stand by turning Corbin into a tree.
We've talked about this, only if we can stab the tree afterwards.
Well, I do have a rather large axe, and apparently a new patron deity, I don't know what, who apparently likes cutting trees, so.
Here you go, turn him into a tree, and then Xandria can impress her new patron by being a woodcutter.
I don't in particular want to impress them.
They give you your powers.
Just a bit.
Ruby mutters a phrase in halfling under her breath, which Toodles speaks halfling, doesn't she?
Toodle speaks every language.
Toodles hears we kill people who kill people because killing people is wrong. And then Ruby goes back to that sort of sulky lip button. I've nothing more to say on the subject.
In halfling, Toodle says to Ruby at the end of that, Xandria follows who?
When she passed,
Is this still in halfling?
yeah.
No.
As the kind of side, when she passed, it was a temple of the woodcutter we took her to, and a cleric of the woodpecker.
The woodpecker?
The woodpecker!
The arch nemesis of the woodcutter. We're getting it homebrewed.
This is sparkling water. I haven't even been drinking.
Put the bubbles in
Oh,
it.
it's too late, man. I'm not on the right plane of existence.
I'm just going to write
It
that for
was
a homebrew.
It was a cleric of the woodcutter who performed the ritual to bring her back, and she seems to now. She wears the axe, and she seems to have drawn some kind of. She's not a cleric, but I don't know what the other word is.
I think the Ravenholm folk call them paladins.
One of them.
Does she know who the woodcutter is?
I don't know because she's never said, but whenever it's mentioned, she gets very cross, so I think she has an idea.
Do you know Ruby?
No.
Ulrich Steinson is the avatar of the woodcutter.
We'd have definitely heard that.
Yeah,
that
you
name.
definitely heard Ulrich
Ulrich
Steinson.
Steinson.
And Paladin. I wouldn't know what Paladin is.
There's a halfling word for paladin. There's no halfling
Yeah,
word
it's
for Ulrich Steinson.
Why are we-
Names his names, but well,
Why are we
Ruby just
talking
shrugs
about-
and goes, explains why she's cross.
Why are we talking about Ulrich?
Looks at Ruby.
Sapphire says in Leonin, it's quite rude to talk in other languages when people are sitting around.
But it is most entertaining for myself. She says in
He
Leonin.
grins because he was partly testing if she knew Leonin.
Come at me!
So what's up with Ulrich? What's going on with Ulrich?
Are you asking in common or Leonin?
That's common now, that's for
Okay.
everyone.
Merely a curiosity that I was confirming with Ruby.
Do you care to elaborate more on your curiosity, Jesuit.
Should I, Ruby?
She's told me why you're so cross about the woodcutter.
Oh. Never mind, I don't need to know anymore.
Shutting this down. I'm shutting this down. Okay.
Go for
It was just a hunch, but I think yes. I think that solidifies that question.
Okay, well that explains the annoyance. Fair. Wait, does that mean do you still talk to your other patron? Like, are you still involved, or is this replaced that?
Oh,
Sapphire,
oh,
you
I think-
literally were with us when we went to talk to Malika.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Malika is scary.
So have you replaced that, or
No.
shit? So you've got
You shouldn't
two.
allow that.
No, because I do not, nor will I wish to have anything to do with him. Furthermore, he's supposed to be going into a wall.
Potentially is in a war by now.
Potentially, yes, potentially in a wall. As
I
far as
can't tell
am
you they're not yet in the wall. The fighting has been quite difficult.
That's a shame. As far as I am concerned, Malika is my patron. Technically, I suppose, so is Whisper. I haven't spoke to Whisper in some time. The last time I spoke to him was when we were in the realm of echoes. Which reminds me, and then she puts her hand on her neck, like... Is there still... Can anyone see a mark on my neck? Is there still a mark on my neck? Because I've not checked.
Fire looks to Ari. What did you do?
No mark,
look
kids.
at
No
me.
mark.
So Ruby will look at the neck and shake, like, don't say anything.
Ooh. That's not good.
Rhea, you're wearing the axe. That's if you don't want to, and she stops herself just before she says the word serve.
You don't. My apologies. You don't serve the
No,
woodcutter.
Ruby doesn't say the word serve. She stops herself
All
and
right.
backs up. If you don't want to walk his path, then you're gonna have to at least get rid of his symbol.
It is incredibly difficult, this whole scenario, this whole situation with the woodcutter. Because I don't know if you realise, but I am quite about carrying out a duty. It's the whole reason I came here to the Copper Forest. It's the whole reason I serve Malika's will. It's the whole reason I serve Whisper. I owe a debt. That debt needs to be repaid. And so that means I must walk that path. I'm not 100% happy about it because it ties me further to Ulrich. However, I do not believe he is the entirety of the woodcutter.
No, merely an avatar.
Exactly.
But
So whilst I'm not happy about sharing traits with him, I will still walk that path. For it is the path that is in front of me as of now. Somewhere down the line, it may diverge. It has done once already. I thought I was to forever walk the path of summer and follow Malika, and then it diverged off into being the landlord, and then it diverged off working with Whisper, who, judging by the fact that you're saying there is no mark on my neck, has come to an end. I would rather not like it to have come to an end, and I hope that one day I can rekindle that relationship with Whisper, and continue to tell the tales of our people through all seasons, regardless if some of those seasons seem hell-bent on putting an end to others.
It's
But that is
pronounced
just the way-
winter, Sandria.
Yes, I know it's pronounced winter, but it's rather cold here, and I'm already disliking it.
At the mention of owing a debt and therefore walking that path, Ruby, without thinking, clutches a hand around the acorn she is now wearing around her neck.
Life unfolds in mysterious and wonderful ways. It is a story, and we follow it chapter by chapter. And eventually, the story will come to an end. But that story gets retold over and over and over again when somebody else picks up the book and reads it. And that is what our lives are. We started off as very different people. And we have gone through our chapters. We've made our choices. We are where we are today because that is how the story has unfolded. And it's never just one straight thing. There will always be choices for us to make.
But if you do have the choice, you're not allowed to die again. He says he can't be dealing with crying anymore.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not for me to decide. And he should know that.
So, what's the plan?
I think the plan may be for now to recuperate, plan our next dealings with Corbin. Can't do anything to him now. We can't get to where he is. We also have Kespion to deal with. We can't deal with Kespion until at least tomorrow. So I think for now...
Oh, no, I can cast today. I just
thought you
can't use the mark until tomorrow. Tree Stride is a spell, and the mark that Toodles put on my arm lets me
That
cast
wasn't me.
it. Oh. We thought it would be because it says thank you in
I
silver.
mean, look around. What do you think would be more thankful? Myself or the forest?
Sapphire's like beaming. Oh,
Really
that's so cute.
Mega blushing.
You are a druid.
Well, either way, it's a spell, and the mark on my arm lets me cast it at no cost, but I can only do that once in a day, but it's a spell I know how to cast.
Okay, then answer me this. Would it be beneficial for us to go today or wait until tomorrow?
In Toa, we would be safe for a night if I needed to rest before bringing us back. There's no... I can probably cast it twice in a day, so we would be alright to come back to here, or to worst case scenario, I can put us directly in my parents' back garden again. It's
Okay. Perhaps we should do that then, so that we're not wasting more time than we need to, if you're comfortable with doing that, Ruby. Because the minute we get Kess, the minute we can continue with trying to deal with Corbin, trying to deal with dickhead brother.
we can go to any tree I've seen, so if Ari tells me the place that we've been that's closest to where they are, then when we have Kess, we can go there, or we can come back here, unless Toodles bars the door behind us.
I wouldn't.
I'm surprised. We have been. I
We
feel like
are
we've
in
been taking
position.
advantage almost.
It's fine. You've done a lot since, well, at least since Ari and Xandria and Kesfion and your friends. Was it the small bird. For, was it Griff?
Griff and Dalefin.
And Dalefin, yes. And the previous Jesuit spoke highly of you, and Orcarian would, despite his outward wording, definitely cares for you all, so it is no bother. If you need help or sanctuary, please, the door is always open. And Ruby knows where the tree is, so I couldn't stop you if I tried.
Just
and
remember
it seems the forest is thankful. My apologies, Andrea.
It's alright. I was just about to say, just remember and be thankful that this is all happening here with the Jesuit and not with Malika. Because if this was Malika, no. Just no.
I'd be surprised if Malika acknowledged your existence if you were constantly knocking on their door.
Mm-hmm.
Or burn you all to a crisp.
It's why I don't speak to her very often, unless I absolutely need to.
But yes, you are very welcome around an autumn fire. Are you staying the evening?
If Ruby
It is
can...
probably midday-ish time-wise from Tower to here.
Is Ruby aware?
Probably not.
Would be basically how close to the glade of the first Kelpie can Ruby take them with tree stride, because she's
Miles
never
away.
been.
Miles away. So
Yeah, so we're gonna have to. Yeah.
the Torn Highlands, there are places like no one in the Torn Highlands knows everywhere in the Torn Highlands. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, it's that big. So you'd
So
have
when
to.
you say miles away, are we talking an afternoon's forced march? Are we talking 3
days.
days?
You'd probably Ruby's best bet would be to ask somebody who's been around a bit longer and work it out from there, because you've never done a day trip to this wood, this grove, or anything like this. It's just storage around a fire, and other than curiosity of story, Ruby has no idea how close she could get to that wood. You could pick a tree and it might be a day away, or you could pick a tree, it might be a week away. You've no idea, literally no idea.
Which direction is it in relation to her parents' home?
You believe northeast,
So
but you haven't been to another village and they haven't told you it's in the south. So you're going off stories. They're always, many of the stories around this grove are far in the northeast, near the coast, or inland, or near the Pride Mountains. There's always a lot of story around it.
Ruby will relay that what she can do is choose the most northeastern point that she's been to, and who knows how far from there we have to travel to get there, seeking directions. Because find creature or find person or whatever it's called works within a certain. So once we get within a certain range of casts, I can cast a spell to find him, but we don't. We might be a week's hike away from where he is. We might be round the corner. Nobody really knows where it is. It's in the northeast, we think, and I can go as far northeast as I can go, unless there is. And she kind of looks at Toodles and goes, "There is any way you can point me in the right direction?"
Unfortunately, the locations of the fair outside the seasonal, the seasonal fair, their homes are their own, and it is a knowledge that they keep to themselves and only share with those they choose. If it is the first Kelpie, and we have Kelpie in the Copper Forest, or did. She kind of sighs and looks a little bit sad for a moment in her eyes. But yeah, maybe I can ask some of the older fair that have, even older than I, and maybe they may know, but I don't know the Tone Highlands or the fair creatures and where they choose to reside.
Does Ruby know the names of any of the rivers that are supposed to flow
Oh
into
no, not the Kelpie rivers. No. They've been given exactly like you named the woods, the Singing Woods. Those rivers have got, the waters that call, the siren stream, as many as you could come up with around a campfire for these bits, but nothing on a map that says, Thames this way.
Yeah. If there is anyone who wouldn't mind, who could, I still wouldn't be able to see the tree, but if they could at least tell us roughly where, so I can get us as close as possible. Otherwise we'll be spending the next week hiking through the hills.
I don't know whether it's worth, and I'm not saying this because I don't want to get Cass back, but if he's out there and Xandria didn't feel any malice from the Kelpies and the
You can't in a
sirens?
scry. I felt no malice when I saw the temple in Vey,
Oh, I certainly felt Corbin's malice.
because he knew you were there, so he
I
pushed
think
back
it
through the
varies on
connections.
success of the scry. But you are, if Xandria's judgment was, as Harry says, one of safety for Kess.
I think he'll come back. We've all done disappearing act, shall we say? And I don't want to leave on a trip to Toa and we don't know exactly where we're going, and then Cass gets popped back here and doesn't know where we are.
The fuck?
Scooby-Doo episode.
So, are you staying in the evening? Going back to my original. Mainly so I know to arrange a board for you, unless you just wish to sleep under the stars. It's winter.
What do you want to do, Drew? Is your brother?
I've told you what I can do. We can.
Yeah, but it's probably Dria's choice whether we should go after him or whether she thinks he'll be okay
No,
there.
that's what I mean. Drea has the information of how far I can get us, or how close I can potentially get us to Kess. If she thinks we follow that regardless of how long and far we walk at the other end, then I'll cast the spell now and we'll go. But if she would wait and see if he finds his own way back to us like you did, then we can wait. The spells don't go anywhere. I can still cast. Unless somebody does something stupid and we get in a great big fight and I use all my magic healing you.
Knowing you lot, I'd make sure that's in your planning. Just putting it out there.
Part of me is concerned that even though I sensed no malice and everything seemed okay, there is always going to be a small part of me that is concerned.
Of course.
That something may keep Kesvion there. And so part of me wants to go and get him. Also because, as I've said previously, Kes never willingly wants to leave the water. He only does it because he's practically forced to most of the time.
Well, if he's a water fair, that would ring true.
But then it's like, if Harry said, what if we disappear and we go off on a goose chase looking for him and he ends up coming here, and then we're no further forward. He'd be here, we'd be there.
Can you send a message?
I was going to say, I suppose if he turned up here, at least you could tell him to stay put and...
Oh, definitely. Brew up for Kesvion.
the one situation then in which dithering over the answer is a sensible compromise. We can wait a couple hours. If your worry grows and you want to continue, then we shall, and perhaps he shows up in half an hour or so. And
Perhaps we can always, as you said, we can wait on my sibling sense to start tingling if something feels off.
we can wait, rest, eat, do some gardening.
Yeah.
Get
You can
some
do
of
some
this wretched shine off my hair.
You could do some gardening. I think I would quite like to stay warm
Walking
by the
around
fire.
reflecting light like a mirror. It's ridiculous.
It's because you're clean. Okay, let's wait and see how long it takes before my sense of dread and worry.
As you
Overtakes.
climb in the walls and we have to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, are you going to spend the day just chilling out, relaxing, shooting some baseball? Cool.
Outside of the cabin in the woods, yes.
Yes. Let's hope you don't get in a fight. Right. Let's go back. As the day passes, Ruby, you are, I assume, in Jesus. Let's change
Oh, I'm in the business of every single tree
I
that
guess.
I can get to. In that, yeah.
There is flora and fauna for
Oh,
miles and miles. Let me know, and I'll prep the rolly.
No, none of that. Just wherever you see Ruby, you see the rustles in the grass and the little...
There is a full-on Snow White effect going on at the minute, where Ruby intermingling with trees and little creatures and stuff like this. The fey creatures are either flying, running, disappearing and reappearing in different places. They're all tending the woods themselves. As you can hear, the nighttime sounds coming thick and fast. And it is a peaceful evening. Toodles is sometimes around, sometimes wanders off into the forest, and even if you were to try and catch up, she turns around a tree and she's gone. You spend your time mainly around the grove. If you wish to interact, let me know. If not, I'm going to skip ahead. Going once, going twice. Cool. Sunsets. It is what we like to call in the Fey realm bastard cold. And there are small campfires that are put together that are kind of dotted around. I mean, this grove is enormous by compared to the normal groves you would see. But you could probably hold a small festival in this grove. But it is dotted with small campfires where Fey and non-Fey are chilling out, talking to each other, just interacting and mingling, as it were. Sylvan is a beautiful language. Not when I speak it, Maybonics. You get a few of the bardic types letting out a lovely Sylvan song. Maybe when it's fully sunset, stars are high in the sky, it is clear, it is that winter night. You can see that there's a twinkle everywhere you look. The moon is maybe halfway through its time, and you hear the cloppity-clop of a horseback coming through the woods, mainly hitting the harder ground. It's not necessarily like shod shoe or iron shod, you know what I mean, on cobbles or anything, but you can tell there's horseback approaching. Seeing where the sound is coming from, you see Gideon upon quite a large pony. Not necessarily a war horse. I mean, the lad's still only 9 years old, but 9-year-old that night. Hoo-yah! Wait till you see me campaign 2 50 years later, and he's 59
Oh, no.
in a 9-year-old.
No.
I remember when I were a lad.
Still a lad.
No.
Oh god, he's gonna have a Claudia situation.
But you see Gideon approach, who is in full like leather armour, the tabard of the Copper Lances, sitting proud on his pony, and you see the handle of the lance on his back, but you don't see the full length of the lance. It's kind of, well, you notice that it is magically sheathed, as it were. He jumps down, sorts his horse out, takes it over to there's a couple of stands where there's that he ties the horse to, but there's no other horses around. But immediately the horse starts getting tended to. It's exactly like the flora and fauna was. And after about 10 minutes of this pony eating, it starts to take a different shape and takes the humanoid shape, maybe 2 foot tall, but it's got a humanesque shape to it, large leathery bat-like wings, but quite a nondescript sort of look about their features. Pretty sure that if you wouldn't be able to pick them out in a crowd if you saw them 10 times. And this 2 foot flying fae fucks off into the night. Gideon, I should write poetry. Gideon,
Sylvan is a
no t-shirt. Gideon notices you all, sees Harry first, sat around a fire, tarting it up, looking over his shoulder, see if Sandra's looking, flirting with the fire itself. And Gideon will come over. Hey, Barry.
Hey, Gideon. How you doing?
I'm knackered. I've been all over this forest. Have you seen the Jezerite anyway? And he's looking around. There's no sign. He hasn't seen the Jezerite for a couple of hours.
She's been around, but she's not been here for a bit. Do you want a brew?
Yeah, definitely. Right, follow me. Where are you all lot? And just kind of notices Xandria and Sapphire and Ruby. Do you lot want a brew? Just shouts wherever you are. We'll shout across to you. Doesn't wait for a response. Just keeps walking to the cabin. Cabin opens up for him as he approaches. Walks in immediately. Puts a stool out. Climbs up onto the. Starts making a covered in armour. I can't reach the tea bags. Starts making a brew. Slumps into the Jezerite's rocking chair. Just like, who follows into the cabin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for Xandria to be like, I smite him. Little bastard.
That's your bastard.
Oh, well, I did have this report for the Jezerite, but well, I'm tired. I need some sleep. Anyway, I don't know if she told you, but we went to check out these blood pillars, these spikes that are in the forest, and oh man, they don't. Some of this lot, and just kind of gestures out into the outside the cabin. If they go within like 50, 60 feet of it, they start unraveling. It's like, imagine you had a book and you were, washing away the ink on the pages. They kind of unravel in front of you. But that unraveling goes into the pillar, like it's sucking it in or siphoning it. And we could see that there were veins all around the pillars, so we had a look at them. But only a few, and a few from. We had a couple from the House of Lilies. I think there was an eagle there. One of the Forge lot, they came up. That was nice of them. And they had loads of like protective gear that we could wear. But we got close to the pillars, and it's definitely like leeching the land around it. But the weirdest thing was, like I put my hand, and it was like touching glass. And I could have swore there was a smaller hand touch the glass on the other side, but there was no noise or anything. It kind of took me back a little bit. But anyway, the Lilies lot reckoned that well, and then sits up like almost what's the word? Eureka moment. Listens to the singing bard by the fire. They reckon that the essence is still in the pillars. Like all the fae, all the fairies of the forest of copper, of autumn, like the Jezerites, like all of your lot. Just looks at Xandria. Where's Cass? Anyway, yeah, they reckon that the essence is still in there. So if we can figure out how to break it, maybe we can get the essence back out. I don't know if it'll return like the realm or the home of the Jesuit, but I don't know if that's still here now at the moment. But there's definitely like some we think, or at least the Lily lot think, there's some folk still in the pillars. I don't know how to explain it. They explained it better, but I need to tell the Jesuit that, you know, we need to break them, but I don't know how we're going to break them because
She'll, as soon as she senses you've come home, she'll be right back in here. But if you want to sleep, we can tell her what you've told us.
I mean, I'll go check on the rest of the lances and see if anyone's got anything to report. But yeah, I think I'll get my head down after that. I missed the hammock. So it's tough being 9. Right. Well, kettle's on, or pot. That thing with water in it. Right, I'm off. Yeah, please make sure you pass it on and tell her to come and wake me if she needs to wake me up. But yeah, it's not easy when you can't walk through trees. You know what I mean? Right. Ciao for now. And Gideon leaves the cabin with a boiling pot of brew on the stove.
Once Gideon leaves and is kind of like out the door and not within earshot, Xandria is just kind of stood there with her arms crossed, staring as he's leaving. I thought the Jesuit said Gideon doesn't sleep. You know, being accounted for, he's dead, technically.
He doesn't eat or drink either, but he carries the items for comfort. Perhaps he just lies down and rests his mind. Perhaps he says these things out of habit.
Potentially, it was just the fact that he said he was tired.
There's different kinds of weariness, though, isn't there? You can be hale of body and tired of mind.
I guess.
Interesting point, though.
We'll mention it to Toodles.
Mm.
If we do and she's not concerned, then we'll know we needn't be.
Like I say, it's just a point.
If the Lilies lot seem to know more about what's going on with the essence in the pillars, I'd like to go and speak to them.
That means potentially speaking to.
Yeah, over that awful meeting was the Lily.
Yeah, but she won't be here.
Oh, her, no. If we
As far
go
as
and
you
ask
know,
her,
she's at the wall with Ulrich.
Yep.
and if we did ask her, then she wouldn't stop talking for the next 8 days, and we'd still be nowhere closer to. We'll have to find a different one.
She might be a druid.
Gideon had some wisdom and Gideon talked to them.
Yeah.
So, Harry at least will fully head outside and kind of follow where Gideon is going.
Gideon goes and you see him making his rounds, talking to other fairies and humanoids and fair folk that are wearing this tabard, this copper tabard. If you interrupt him, he'll talk to you. If you don't, you'll check.
He'll kind of just tap him on the shoulder.
Hey Barry, what's up?
You said there was some people from the House of Lilies that seem to know more about the pillars. Can you point them out to me?
They started travelling back. Like there was a few of us. We had to obviously get the information back because. But they are maybe a day. I left them a few hours ago. You could probably catch up to them if you chased northward.
No, okay. I thought they were still here. It's okay.
No, we did. We met here and then we all went out together. But
I see.
yeah, we've got them going back to the forge and the lilies and one across to your way.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for that.
It's not a problem. What we did figure out though, I forgot to mention in there is there's only 5 pillars, but there's and there's 5 provinces. So we didn't go to them all, but our money is they're all siphoning from each province.
That makes sense. Thank you for that.
We need to figure out a way to break these, right? Like,
Oh yes, Sapphire. I didn't notice you following Harry.
I'm not like conspicuous.
I just didn't hear your tiny little footsteps leave the cabin.
He's grinning.
She'll learn some tricks. It's intriguing.
I mean,
Definitely.
I don't know how to break them. They're pretty powerful. They've got a lovely voice. Just looks over to the bard around the fire.
Yeah, pretty good. He'll kind of turn and head back towards the cabin where the others are, I guess.
Night, Harry. You alright, Sapphire?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I was just planning on going for a walk, get some air. that's
Wait,
all.
where you going? Those are company?
No, I appreciate that. Just need to clear my head a bit.
Okay. Well, you see that hammock over there? And just points like a few trees deep from the grove. I'll be in that. If anyone asks, I'm sleeping. And he starts trying to do like a really exaggerated wink.
He nods and bows his head slightly.
We don't want the other people knowing. Right, and he sort of gestures at himself.
Yeah, no, that's I can understand that. But you shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed or anything. Just
I'm
so
not,
you're
but
aware.
some of them, might try and actually make me die. So
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. People
it's
are
pretty new.
judgmental
It's pretty
about-
new. Like people are still dealing with the copper forest and stuff. Like I don't want to be like, haha, I can't be killed again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. Okay,
So
I get
sleeping,
that.
yeah, sleeping. Bye bye. And you just see him wander off. He talks to one other red cap in the tabard, and then climbs into the hammock and goes to sleep.
As he kind of walks away, Sapphire's smile falls, and yeah, he will go for a walk just around the the newest grown trees.
Give me a perception check.
Oh no. Which is a good one. Oh, that's going to be super high. That is a 26.
Woo! Maybe 5 inches. Hang on. Ah, my dad's a fisherman. Maybe about 5 inches tall. You see a little white Lionel walking next to you. Like literally, as you stride, it strides. And then so you look down. What the? And then you look at your left. There's another one on your left. And you turn around. There's about a dozen. And whatever you do, they literally mimic your movement.
So for a few, for maybe, I don't know, about 10 seconds or so, Sapphire just tries different, more like difficult things to mimic and sees how well they keep up.
Perfect mimicry. Other than the fact that you're 6'6" and stride further than they do, but the actual.
Sapphire will head back towards the cabin,
They
just
follow.
so he's somewhere safe, just in case these are horrible things.
They follow you to the cabin. Again, just walking as you walk. When you turn your head, they turn their head. Even when you look down, they look down.
Sapphire will open the cabin door, step over the threshold, and kind of wait to see if they come in.
They do not enter the Jesuit's cabin.
Is anyone still awake? Have people gone to bed? People hanging out?
Andrea's still up.
What the hell are these? Sapphire will just say into the cabin in general.
Xandria will look in Sapphire's direction.
He's literally pointing down at the little ones.
As Andrew, you see 12 of yourself, 5 inches tall. And as you're looking at them, move your head a little bit. They look at you and move their head a little bit, and they mimic you. And you know them as just mimics.
They're just mimics.
Are they dangerous? Like, the only mimics I've ever heard of are ones that, eat you when you get too near them. Yeah.
Of course they're dangerous. They're fair.
I mean, yeah, that's why I headed back towards the cabin when I saw them. But okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't sit down and poke them.
Don't poke them. They'll take your hand clean off.
So are these mimics like the same kind of mimics that like pretend to be treasure chests and stuff? Okay, good. I was worried that I was learning something new. But it always hurts a bit when I learn something new, he says with a smile.
The ones you're thinking of, right? If you scale them on a scale of 1 to 10, they're about a 6. These little buggers, 9.
Sapphire slowly closes the door.
If you were to lie on the floor, if you were asleep, and you didn't notice them, they would clean the flesh off your bones in 0.5 seconds.
Land piranhas.
And piranha.
Okay. No going for walks without company. Got it. Is Gideon going to be okay out there?
I mean, he's already dead, so
That's what I was thinking.
if he's missing a bit of flesh, doesn't make any difference. He'll
Can
be
they
fine.
can they fly? How can they jump? Like, he's in a hammock.
He's also...
They're mimics. They can climb.
Like, he's probably okay, right? Like,
You'll find
At
out
this
in the
point,
morning.
Ruby can't help but start giggling.
I'm sorry, I was just sitting there giggling. It's like, oh, it's amazing.
He might be dead. He might be alive. Who knows?
Give me a perception check, Sapphire.
18.
18. While you're all having this conversation, you've closed the door and such. On the windowsill, on the outside of the building, you see a little 5-inch white Lionel looking at you and just go... and then jump off the windowsill.
Sapphire, with massively wide eyes, just kind of traipses over to the nearest cushion and kind of flomps onto it. Like, his expression does not change. He's just proper freaked out by this. Give him a 20-foot demon, he's fine. These things are fucking freaky to him.
Land piranhas.
It's never the big ones you have to worry about. It's always the little ones.
Little wisps, the little buggers.
Yeah.
You're lucky to have, you're lucky that you've gone out alive, really. Normally, they just attack straight on sight, so... Yeah, lucky that you got back to the cabin as quickly as you did.
Ruby's still laughing.
Okay.
So before Sapphire does a fright check, it is coming to midnight. You spent the day just chilling out, doing your things. You all settle down, unless you really want to stay up late, watch Netflix. You all settle down. The apparent extension to the cabin becomes available when you look for it, where the bunks are there, where the cot beds are kind of grown, and there is a thick layer of leafing. While you're all kind of settling down for your 8 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is you need, you all hear 2 voices outside the cabin, talking, passing conversation nicely. You hear the voice of Toodles, the Jesuit, the Archfey of Autumn. And you hear the voice of Lord Romerick, of the House of Ravens. And we're going to call the session there. Was it 11 o'clock-ish?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was very nice, gentle. It's good to be back, actually doing stuff, moving it forwards. So yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in. The pace was a lot different. There was some cool plot drops. Well, I'm claiming cool. There was some cool plot drops and some lore that's been now filtered in. See what you look.
And we got to mess with Sapphire.
And you got to mess with Sapphire.
My favourite pastime is sangria.
So yeah, there. Yeah, that was great fun. We should be back next Tuesday, hopefully with a look. We shall see. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for coming back. I know it's been a couple of weeks. We'll try and keep on track again, but you know, real life and adults. Thank you for joining in when we do miss a few and still being here when we come back. It's super cool, super great. We love it. I need to know if Ashana is still on.
She's not.
She's not. Boo. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much. I think the next time we're streaming is Friday, and that's Pathfinder. So yeah, we're going to try and get session 2 of our Pathfinder adventure going on. Look out for that. You've heard all the stuff. Push the buttons underneath, the Discords and the YouTubes and the Instagrams and all that palaver. Thank you very much. And we'll shout about everything we're doing shortly. But for now, say goodbye, players.
Goodbye.
Bye, players.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.